Just coming up to 8:32 and a half here on Manx Radio TT. A very good morning from a sunny and a little bit breezy Alabama, but it's looking good for race day number 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Christy.
We've got various comments coming in on the Facebook. We are live on Facebook. So Simon is watching in East Yorkshire. We've got Gary watching in Merthyr Tydfil. And we've got Jeffrey saying, good morning from Warrington, Pennsylvania, USA. Been enjoying the show every morning on Facebook. Thank you for bringing it to us live. These people are getting up at ridiculous hours in the morning.
Just to see my knees.
Just to see your knees, I know. See, we had Tim Glover in here earlier.
Oh.
He's exposing his calves.
Do you know, that's put me off chicken.
Yeah, he is.
He's
He's exposing his calves.
Do you know what?
I'm early in the morning.
I'm never going to go to that fried chicken place anymore and have any chicken anymore after seeing his legs
Put you off forever,
Oh, dear me.
Do you know what? Just in that break there,
Yeah.
we were just chatting off air, and Johnny was talking about the race this afternoon, and was saying he's really excited. But then I threw this to all of you. How much is excitement and how much is nerves?
For me, race day, I've always been bad at race day. And that's right now, I feel sick as a dog. I don't want to eat. I don't want to sit still. I just want to be I know, you're just kind of excited and nervous, apprehensive. It's all kind of bowled into one, really. You know, I was saying to Keith, I wish. Yeah, he said, "Are you looking forward to it?" I said, "Yeah, of course I am." But I wish I was race 1. You know, I've got to wait around till 2:15, and it's kind of, you kind of...
Well, you're doing other things to take your mind off.
Yeah, which is good now. I mean, now I'm doing this job. I've got lots of other things going on this morning, getting the Super Sport race out and then the electric bike race going, and it's good. But, normally when you're just sat in your motorhome, it drags on and on and on. But on a good note, at least today the sun's out. We're not looking at any delays, and because that's one of the worst things when they keep putting the race back an hour. It's just a roller coaster of emotion. So at least today, touch wood, everything will go well. We'll get away on time, and then 5 o'clock we'll be in the beer tent.
Sounds good, Johnny, doesn't it? Keith Amor, I've just seen when John said about sitting in the motorhome twiddling your thumbs, the look on your face and the exhale of air was just quite incredible. You didn't deal with that quite well either, did you?
Nah, that was the one bit I really struggled with here, it's the delays, if there's a delay, because I think you build yourself up, you get ready to go, and then it's like, right, no, somebody else is... or something's happened to somebody on the mountain or whatever, and it's going to be closed, and you're going to wait for a little bit longer. And I do not miss the anxiety bit of it, the waking up in the morning and feeling physically sick. And you kind of got to put a face on it, you've got to come across like everything's rosy and you're happy and you can't wait to go, but deep down you're actually thinking, come on, please man, let me just get on the bike, get the helmet on, close the visor and get down Bray Hill, and then I'm happy. But until then, no.
It does beg the question, though, doesn't it? There'll be lots of people listening to this going, well, why then?
Well, why is because as soon as you click first gear and you head off, there's nothing like it in the world.
Yeah.
The buzz you get from this place, I mean, we've raced all over the world, we've done everything, haven't we? But this place is still special. This is the only reason I still race. The only reason I'm still racing a bike is because I love riding this circuit. This is 28 years I've been here now, and I'm excited as much now as I was in the early days. But as you say, you got those nerves and anxiousness, and you're on the start line. And of course, as Keith said, everyone's around you, so you kind of got all you want to do is probably just throw up over the hedge. But all you got to put on a brave face, and then of course you get the 3-minute board, and then you put your helmet on, and you kind of go through the last little bit, and you say goodbye to your team. And then it's just you. Then you're just sitting there, and you'll notice all the boys they're playing with their steering damper, chest in the front brake. It's just all part of the nerves and everything. And then you get to that final point, don't you? It's your turn. So you slick first gear, you get tapped on the shoulder, and you're off.
Stall it.
Or fry the clutch.
That's it. Sorry, John.
No, that's it. Then the nerves go, because that's it. There,
you're away.
That's one thing we say to our newcomers. Number one thing over here: never turn off. Concentrate. So as soon as you select that first gear and you're gone, that's it for 2 hours. It's just you, the bike, and the track.
One man who needs no excitement putting into his life when it comes to TT is Richard Milky Quayle, because Richard, still for you, even though you're not riding today, you still got that feeling, haven't you, now?
Oh, for sure, it's something that never leaves you. That's the thing with this place. It's the best thing in the world. It really is. It's addictive, and it's a drug. And I'd love to be back out today. I handled my nerves quite different. I think I was always it never really bothered me. It was always the night before I used to get nervous. Yeah. The night before I couldn't get to sleep because I'd all be thinking what if this, what if that, what if the other. But then the race day I was all right. I wasn't too bad. It was the only time I ever felt a little bit nervous was when we brought up onto the line. We brought up onto the line. It was like, oh shit, no going back now.
Apologies on my
sorry. It was like, yeah, there was no going back then. I couldn't back out. Do you know what I mean? So, but then when I got drawn into the dead zone, it was like, right, come on, let's go. And then I was like, yeah, I was all right then. Just all my nerves just went then. I was like, right, come on, let's go. And I just when they dropped that flag and you're just gone. And what makes the TT so special for me, I'm pretty sure the other lads will agree with you, was the fact that you're on your own. That's the most beautiful, magical thing, is it? It's like your own personal racetrack. Whereas on any other race that you do out throughout the year, there's always 30 or 40 other lads with you in the holding area, and you're off the start line, you're always with somebody during the race. But actually, here, you're on your own, and you're just, it's beautiful. It's like you're in heaven. It's just beautiful. It's just, I'm getting excited.
Oh, hang on.
I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to change.
We've lost him now. But Milky, you're still only one of 3 Isle of Man solo winners. Is that right, Mike? Solo winners. What is the sort of percentage then of local racers to visiting races on the grid?
Yeah, it's quite high. It's really high. It's really high, the actual locals. Throughout the years, I think it's always been high. It's ultimately because it's on your back door and you see it, you want to do it, you want to be involved in it. And there's generally always a good percentage of local riders that want to do it. But that just shows you pretty much how hard it is to do the TT. You know, at the top level, everybody. Keith knows it just as well as I do, and and John knows it just as well as everybody else.
I don't know.
So it's ultimately, it's. I always say you need quite a few things in the mixture to win a TT. First off, you need a good bike. Then you need a good rider. You need a good team. But most of all, you need luck. And if you ain't got one of those ingredients in your mixture, you're never going to win one. So it's that's why they're so hard to win. That's why they're held in such high esteem, because they're not given to you. It doesn't matter on the size of your wallet. It's the size of what's in your trousers that matters. You know what I mean? You've got to push it on. You've got to want it. You've got to really go for it. And ultimately, again, the 3 that are running at the front this week, they all want it. They're all pushing each other on so hard.
Look at Hickey at the end of the Superstock race. I've never seen him emotional when he won Macau, wherever else he's won. He was so emotional. And I've seen a picture of it. I don't know if you boys have seen it at all. No, you don't do social media, Milky, but looking down from obviously Kate's cottage, looking down towards the Craig de Bar, and the whole thing is completely sideways. You can see the tyre. And he's really trying. Keith?
When I watched the highlights last night, I actually flicked on it with I was sitting watching with Jonathan, and Jonathan was like, "That's ridiculous." He said, "There's blue smoke coming off his tyre." He said, "He is like riding that exactly the same as he was riding BSB meet." He said, "I've never seen anything like that." He said, "I didn't think I'd actually see the day somebody was going to ride that hard round here." And then we saw Michael and Dean and all 3 of them. They were absolutely on it, man. It was really impressive to watch, but I mean, it was terrifying me. Because I mean, I haven't ridden the place. Jonathan's never ridden the place, so he doesn't know what it's like. But from a personal point of view, I just thought, boys, if you get that like even a centimetre wrong, that's what it's going to take to win now. So
nearly breaking the outright lap record on a Superstock bike. Okay, it's not a basic Superstock bike you can go down to your local dealer and buy. It's got a few bits and bobs on it. But that's
not just far away.
It's what, 0.2 of a mile an hour, just outside that outright lap record that Dean set on the Silicon bike, which is like a full blown super bike, isn't it? With everything on it you could wish for. It's bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
do you need a super bike now?
Yeah, well,
don't need it, no.
That's a case in point,
I mean,
isn't it?
expense-wise, the difference between two ones 20 grand and some of them are 200 grand.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, Rich.
I mean, that's the beauty of the production, the stocker bike now. It's soft, it's flexible. There's movement in it, and that's what you need for the TT course. Purely through to the bumps and stuff you're going on. Whereas the superbike, you brace everything up because you're used to riding on a billiard table, so you don't want any flex, you don't want any movement, so you have to brace big kit swinging arms at 30-40 grand a pop. And you've been them for here, you take them off. You want a bit of flex and movement in the chassis so that it's riding the bumps nicely. So I mean, that's what motorbikes were made for. Motorbikes were made for the TT course, and ultimately a road bike we're racing on the road, and that's what you buy your bike for. So it's bound to work, isn't it? So
absolutely. Christy, any more questions coming in? We've got the Met offers coming up in a couple of minutes as well. Christy?
Yeah, here's one from Preston for you, Milky. What's your thoughts on the level of competition at Thundersport and the guys racing over at the TT from there?
Yeah, for sure. I've been quite involved with Thundersport this year because my son started racing now, unfortunately.
Hey, he's gone quite well.
Yeah. So we've been away to quite a few of the Thundersport meetings this year, and the Thundersport is a really good starter point as well. It's a real good club race level. There's hundreds and hundreds of competitors in it. It's amazing the turnout they get. And obviously I know Crowe and stuff. He's been one of my newcomers. Me and Barty's trained him and stuff, and he's been going really well at Thundersport, and I just knew that he'd be going well here.
Second in the championship at the moment, isn't he?
He's pushing it on. He's lost half his body weight.
Yeah,
I mean,
so really well.
He's really, he wants it, and ultimately, again, like you say, you've got to want it. You can be the best rider in the world. If you don't want it, you'll never get it. So you've just got to have that passion, that drive, and that will to get it. And
You can't teach that, can
no,
you?
no. And ultimately, he's riding really good. And his ambition was to do a 130. I don't know, did he do a 130?
Close, very close. Him and Ivan are very close.
So ultimately he wants to make sure that he wants to try and get the 130 this year and get up there. So it's going good.
You mentioned your son. Did you try and dissuade him at all when he wanted to get into racing?
You're joking, aren't you?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I love motorbike racing and I love motorbikes. Motorbikes are my life. And but as a father and as a parent, you don't like seeing your kids get hurt, do you? You don't want them to get hurt, and so you want to try and protect them and wrap them. And ultimately, when you ride a motorbike, you're going to fall off and you are going to hurt yourself at some stage. It's law of averages. So, I don't want them to do it, but I know that the pleasure that I got out of it, it's amazing. It's the best thing you'd want to do. I mean, if I lived my life again, I'd do exactly the same. I might not fall off quite so often, but I'd pretty much do the same. I'd pretty much do the same, So, it is. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. So, but I just don't want him to get hurt. That's the thing.
He's away doing that, and also going quite well in the Derby Novice Championship. I think he's leading that one at the moment as well.
He's going good. He's going good. It's a big step up for the lad. He's only 14.
It's KTM he's got, isn't it?
Yeah, got a little KTM for him, and it's a big step up for going from pit bikes, because he used to race pit bike mini motos and then pit bikes and just making the way up. And it's a big step going from just a little small pit bike onto the proper size bike on the full size tracks, and So, but no, he's going really good. He's a good, sensible lad. He listens to me, and he goes sensible. He's not foolish. He's not crash happy. Do you know what I mean? He thinks about the job. So, as long as we keep going the way we are, we'll be all right, I think. So,
Like son, like wife. Never mind son like father, like son like wife. We need to take a very short break. When we come back in a couple of moments' time, we'll be speaking to the Met Officer with Richard, Milky, Quayle, Keith Amor